Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about Scoob 2020, an American 2020 U.S. presidential primary race politics, and how these two vectors, these two elements overlap, how Scoob impacts American politics, and how American politics impacts Scoob. Warning, there are spoilers, extensive spoilers, for Scoob in this Scoob 2020 in this content. All right, so let me define my terms. What is Scoob? Scoob is a 2020. Scoob is a incredibly important political film. Okay, so why is Scoob a movie about Scooby-Doo? And an important political film. Well, and you know what? Let me define my terms for it. Let me explain exactly what Scoob is. So Scoob, SCOOB, exclamation point, is the modern 2020 theatrical release movie for Scooby-Doo that never went to the theaters because of coronavirus. All right. So we are all in this 316 world. On 316, everybody stayed home. March 16th. That was it. That was all she wrote, baby. Everybody's indoors, indoor days, the dark months. 316 world, right? That's where we are right now. And so if we were in a non-pandemic world, we would all be watching Scoob in the theaters, but we can't. And so Scoob was released yesterday as a PVOD. And that is premium video on demand. So I actually bought this. I bought this for my family. It cost $25. The reason why I bought it was the rental would have been $20, right? And this is a PVOD, it's premium video on demand. We brought it through Amazon. And just so you're aware, we bought it through Amazon. It was 4K. And we had one buffer problem. We had to shut down our PlayStation and bring it all the way back up. Not happy with that, Amazon. And so from that perspective alone, right, when I go to the movies, the movie plays through, right? But I wasn't able to watch a $25 film without a stall in the middle. And I'm not the only one. I'm a big fan of Black Nerd. By the way, if you don't know who Black Nerd is, right here on YouTube, he has a fantastic channel. I've listened to him for a long time. Actually, I think he's pretty distracted from YouTube nowadays, and he's doing a bunch of nonsense on Twitch or something. I don't know. But I'm a longtime fan of his, and he did do a review of Scoob. And he had to watch Scoob on his phone because he had technical problems. Two reviewers, two of us could not get through that movie in an uninterrupted way the way we could have as if it would have been in theaters. So this whole PVOD, I am not a fan. I don't like it. I would much rather be at the theaters watching these films. I think you could do that. Honestly, I think you can open up every single business in America today if you just slap everybody at 20% occupancy and insist that social distancing is done in there. And the other thing is, also, just to be clear, everybody's like, well, how's business going to work? Right now, we need people to get back to business, and it really don't matter if they make any money, right? Because like there's a $3 trillion bill currently going through. Like, I really think we need to get people back to work. Excuse me. That is my opinion. Okay. So I watched Scoob, and Scoob it's a Scooby-Doo movie. We'll get to that, right? It has Scooby-Doo in it, and then Scooby-Doo has friends. He has 4 friends: Fred, Velma, Daphne, and Shaggy, okay? Now, Scoob is logically a Scooby-Doo movie, okay? We're going to talk about it being a Scooby-Doo movie in a minute or two, but let's take it for granted that this is actually a Scooby-Doo movie. So it's animated, it has fantastic animation. By the way, I love this movie. 4 out of 5 star movie. I absolutely loved it. It was well worth the $25 we spent. Our family had a blast watching it together. It was really good. I enjoyed it. There were a lot of problems with the film. But let's stay focused on the political aspects of this film. So one, right now, J. Scott Garibay, he's the only person in the world telling you this. The correct understanding of American politics is how it interacts with entertainment. We have absolutely ludicrously and horribly informed politicians right now that think that American politics should be about the stock market and should be about American steel and our resources and rocks and minerals and food and fuel. Absolute nonsense. America is about entertainment, right? All that other crap that I just talk, like fuel and food and all this, like, it's all, shuffle it off, right? It's nothing. It's commodities we can buy from any schmuck nation in the world, right? But when it comes to America, we make entertainment at a level no one in the world makes entertainment, right? See, I keep going back to this. America doesn't beat other nations in the world. America beats the world, right? And when it comes to entertainment, boy, oh boy, is that true. You can stack up every other nation in the world, right? And we outdo them in entertainment by factors, like by 10, right? We outsell them in movies. We outsell them in, what's the best French television show in the world? I have no idea. What's the best Polish television show in the world? Who knows? What's the best Russian television show in the world? Who knows? Now go to any of those nations and ask them what the best American television show is. They'll have answers. They'll have answers, right? And that's my point. When it comes to America, to entertainment, and not only do we make money through entertainment, right? But the money's nothing, right? If you're following politics, pay attention. Where is the power, right? The power is in entertainment. Entertainment, right? That's where power lies today. It controls language. It controls culture. It controls behavior. It controls obedience. It controls fear. It controls peace. It controls solace. It controls a lot of people's mental health, right? Entertainment is massive, right? And so Scoob is incredibly important political film, and the reason why is we're in coronavirus land, right? Trolls World Tour said, oh, hey, guess what? You can make $90 million by releasing a movie without a single theater. Scoob very well may break that. What if Scoob says you can make $200 million? That's a lot of money, right? That's a fifth of $1 billion, right? But here's the thing. Me, J. Scott Garibay, fan of the movie theater, I want Scoob to fail. I want Trolls World Tour to fail. I want PVOD to fail. And the reason why is I know, right? Me and my family, we turned on Scooby and we paid $25. That money went right to the producers of that film. Got split up with some streamers, whatever, right? But when I go out to the movie, I stop at the Wawa and I get some candy, right? And I put some gas in my car. And then I take my whole family there and we get some snacks while we're there. And then when we're done, we go get a pizza, right? And then on the way back, we stop at the Dollar Tree. You see what I'm saying? That's real business. That's American business. That's Main Street America business. PVOT is crap. It is not good for America, right? American movie theaters, which we got 6,000 of them, that's politics. That's America. So while I love the Scoob movie, I do not like PVOD. I want it to fail, right? And any true-blooded, red-blooded American wants PVOD to fail because they understand the economics of it. Let's stay focused on the politics of Scoob. Scoob, first you get to see the relationship between Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, and they're best buds, right? They're really close friends, and truly they have a friendship that is as strong as any two human beings, right? Maybe even stronger. That is a huge factor in American politics today. If you ain't paying attention, the term fur baby is growing like crazy, and frankly, I don't think it's going to. We may already be there. I think there are more people who have fur babies than actual babies, and that's a huge aspect. And so we need to start to understand that we're starting to reshape the American family, right? And a lot of American families are fur baby only. That's a big deal. In fact, you could be looking at the recrafting of America right now. What's the American family? Single person, one person, and a fur baby. Done. There's your American family. That's huge. You understand the ramifications of that? Is big, right? All right, let's keep going. All right, so then Scoob and Shaggy meet Velma, Fred, and Daphne. They meet them on Halloween night, okay? Velma is in costume. She is in costume as an 87-year-old woman. Who would an 87-year-old woman be today that could warrant a Halloween costume? Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That's right, Supreme Court Justice, right? So Velma was very politically, so politics were attached to Velma immediately, literally as she was being introduced, right? And I love Shaggy's line. He's like, "Are you Harry Potter?" I thought that's such a great line. And she's like, "No." And she goes, "I'm Ruth Bader Ginsburg, from the Supreme Court." And Shaggy, again, he just has these killer lines. He goes, "Oh, so you're in Slytherin." That's such a great line. Yes, yeah, I think Ruth Bader Ginsburg would definitely be in Slytherin. All right, so one, let's talk about this. Holy cows. We have a Supreme Court Justice who is today 87 years old. Guess what? Oh man, I shouldn't laugh because I actually feel really sorry for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She got a real problem coming up. If Donald Trump gets reelected, you're talking about a nonagenarian as a Supreme Court Justice. 91 years old. And at this point, in my opinion, I think that Ruth Bader Ginsburg is actually imprisoned in that job. She knows that the second she drops out, Donald Trump will replace her with a list judge. Donald Trump does not pick his own Supreme Court justices. He signed on to a promise which he has kept, that he will bring in these super conservative judges from a specific list. And that was a deal with the American people. Like, there were a lot of groups who were like, okay, we get the judges we want, bet you're in, right? And that's a big, big deal, right? So Ruth Bader Ginsburg knows she steps out, is a conservative court for 40 years, right? So she's really a prisoner in that job, and I feel bad for her. And honestly, the idea that we're going to have a 91-year-old Supreme Court Justice, think about what this is saying. So the retirement age in America is 66, right? Ruth Bader Ginsburg wants you to believe that the appropriate time to retire is 4 years, then 20, 25 years after retirement. So essentially, the blue power base is telling you that if you are 15 years out of retirement, if you are 20 years out of retirement, if you are 25 years out of retirement, you darn well better get back to your desk and work. I ain't for that. I'm against retirement presidents. I'm against retirement justices, right? I don't want any laws to stop any from it. I want America to wake up and say, listen, we want to preserve the retirement, and we will not elect a single person over the age of 66 ever again. And frankly, should be 61, right? Actually, let's roll it back. You should not vote for somebody over 57. All right, actually, so 66, 62, 58. You should not vote for somebody over 58, because if you do, you are saying kill retirement. Understand that that's what your vote means. This is a big point, and absolutely nobody in America is talking about it, and I will not let this go. I am a Scooby with a bone, right? Like, this has got to stop because it is unhinged from logic. Okay, so I loved seeing Ruth Bader Ginsburg in Scoob. All right, now, here's the biggest connection to the 2020 U.S. presidential primary race for Scoob. Scoob is a Trojan horse. Scoob is not a Scooby-Doo movie. It is a Hanna-Barbera shared universe movie. Here's who's in it, right? Captain Caveman, Blue Falcon, Dynamite, Jabberjaw, okay? Grape Ape. Who else is in there? That's five, right? Dick Dastardly, Muttley, right? So that's 7. That is 7. Excuse me. That is 7 characters. 7 characters from the Hanna-Barbera world. And that is the real purpose of Scoob. It has nothing to do with Scooby-Doo. Also, what is Scooby-Doo at its heart? Scooby-Doo is a great show. I'm a huge fan, just so you're aware. I mean, a really big fan, like really big. And what Scoob is it is crime-solving teen friends with a talking dog. That is Scooby-Doo. There's no crime in this. This movie is not about solving crimes in any way. It is an it is a supernatural action adventure movie. Okay? It is not a Scooby-Doo movie. It is a Trojan, so Scoob is a Trojan horse for a Hanna-Barbera shared universe, which Warner Brothers is trying to launch. Okay? Pretty sure that's who owns Hanna-Barbera. And that is exactly like Joe Biden's candidacy. Joe Biden's candidacy is a Trojan horse. It is not in any way about making Joe Biden president. Joe Biden will be president for a period of time between 1 month and 1 year. I guarantee he has. He's already told you. He's already told you flat out, I don't want this job. He passed it up in 2016, said, bye y'all, I'm out. I don't want to be a politician anymore. Then when he saw, oh, I'm sorry, I broke the world and allowed Donald Trump to take this away. Oh, I don't want to be president. I just want to stop him from being president. Worst motivation to be president ever. Okay? Doesn't want the job. Joe Biden doesn't want the job. Right? So basically, I think what the blue power base is like, okay, geez. Dude doesn't even want the job. He's going to be our first 86-year-old president, right? Because he promised that he would do he made sure not to promise. He made sure he made crystal clear that he was a 2-term president, right? Because he knew if he said he couldn't do 2 terms, people would get one that could, right? All right. So Joe Biden is actually he is a Trojan horse for a non-elected female president. That's what he really is. That's what the Joe Biden presidency is, for a non-elected female president. I do not oppose a female president, but I do oppose a female president becoming the first female president without election. I think it is a major problem, and it's going to swing around, and it's going to hit the blue power base in the head, like a boomerang. All right, it's going to look cool in the air, but it's going to strike them. And I do not think it's a good idea. So here's the thing, right? We already saw the person who should have been the first female president. It was Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, now here's the thing. If you're in a race, right, you want a fast car. Tulsi Gabbard is an amazing politician, right? She is she is an F1 Formula race car. She's a fantastic politician. However, she has the worst platform ever, which is non-interventionism. Okay, so she's a Formula One race car who refuses to go in forward position, who refuses to face forward when racing. She literally races only backwards, right? So yeah, a NASCAR race car could beat a Formula One race car if it's going forward and the other car is only driving backwards, right? But you need a female president who beats the other candidates, right? I feel like there's going to be a swing back. If the first female president is just Trojan horsed, it ain't going to end well. It really isn't, right? And I think people are seeing that now, and that's why Joe Biden's candidacy is really just disintegrating in front of us. And I think, and I've always said this, and I still believe this today, Joe Biden has 1% chance of beating Donald Trump. And based on his actions, he could increase that to 1 to 2 or 3%. But the reality is, Scoob was a Trojan horse. It really wasn't a Scooby-Doo movie at all. It was a Trojan horse for Hanna-Barbera shared universe. Just like the Joe Biden candidacy, trust and believe, that ain't about making Joe Biden president. Because that guy ain't going to get through 1 term, let alone 2, right? It is about his VP, right? Which, oh, by the way, he's really dragging his feet on. All that is my opinion. What do you think? Did you see Scoob? What do you think of it? Do you think that Joe Biden's candidacy is actually about electing Joe Biden? I'd love to hear your opinion if you think that's true. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. Have a wonderful millennium.